Some stories just make me wonder, is this the world's worst criminal? There is one type of true crime case that is really difficult to talk about, and that's when the unthinkable happens to the most innocent of lives, the lives of children. Kaylee Jade Priest was an adorable little girl. The 3-year-old angel with her big and bright blue eyes was described as a happy child, and that's despite the atrocities she was facing at home. No child should be subjected to abuse, especially from the people that are supposed to care about us the most. On August 9th, 2020, Kaylee Jade was found dead at the apartment she lived in with her mother in Solihull, West Midlands, England. It was clear she had been the victim of severe physical harm. She had several abdominal injuries, including fractured ribs and fatal chest trauma, a punctured lung. Experts stated that her wounds were similar to a child being hit by a car driving 40 miles per hour, or someone falling 3 stories and landing on a concrete surface. The immense physical pain that Kaylee Jade must have endured is unimaginable, but to think that this brutal attack was coming from someone you love dearly makes it all that much worse. The day before, Kaylee Jade was seen in an elevator with her mother, 23-year-old Nicola Priest. The little girl was standing in a corner, seemingly being totally ignored by her mother, who was checking herself out in the mirror, adjusting her top. No physical contact, not even a glance back to be sure that her young daughter safely exited the elevator. Some might think that a moment like this is insignificant at first glance, but knowing that this little girl would be dead the following day, it's hard to not feel some anger towards Nicola. She seems so much more concerned about herself than Kaylee Jade. While it might make you wonder about her parenting, how does that connect with what happened later that night? What led Nicola to kill her own daughter? Or was someone else responsible? According to the evidence, the assault on Kaylee Jade happened later that day, August 8th, 2020, sometime between 5 and 8 p.m. in the family home. 22-year-old Colin Redfern, a former boyfriend of Nicola Priest's, had come over that afternoon, and it seemed the adults were looking forward to Kaylee Jade's bedtime. Kaylee Jade had her dinner, chicken nuggets and chips, and at 7 p.m. she was supposed to go to bed, giving Nicola and Colin their free time to go into Nicola's bedroom and be intimate. But Kaylee Jade didn't want to sleep. The 3-year-old just wanted to stay up and play. This seemingly angered the adults in the home, and this is where things get difficult to understand. During the trial, Judge Foxton noted that there was no direct evidence of what exactly happened next. Medical and forensics examinations revealed that Kaylee Jade vomited repeatedly, the result of a severe beating. The acuteness of the injuries also showed that it was clear that the attackers both had a strong intent to cause serious bodily harm to the child. The authorities stated that Kaylee Jade's injuries were treatable and even survivable, but only if medical intervention had been provided immediately after that assault. It appears that the 3-year-old likely suffered for hours before succumbing to her injuries sometime around midnight. Nicola called the authorities, screaming and crying when she went into her daughter's room around 11 a.m. the following morning. She told the jury that she found Kaylee Jade stiff and not moving, with purple lips. She attempted to do CPR on her, but, quote, knew she wasn't coming back, and kept telling the dispatcher, she's gone. But the little girl's horrific death actually hid even darker secrets. It wasn't just one sudden act of violence that she had experienced. Kaylee Jade had faced prolonged abuse and neglect. Medical examinations showed she had also suffered historical injuries, such as broken ribs, leg fractures, and even a broken sternum. The horrors faced by this little girl were now coming to light. She was being abused by her mother, with some witnesses stating that Nicola used to call her an effing brat, always telling her to shut up, go away, or leave her alone. No one could really recall Nicola being positive or kind to her own child. Her daughter was heard numerous times crying in fear. Neighbors noticed that whenever Kaylee Jade would cry, Nicola would drown out the noise with loud music. One day, a neighbor heard a big thump, and then Kaylee Jade crying heavily. They could hear Nicola say, I'll say she fell off the bed. Even more chilling, in a text message exchange on July 24th, 2020, just a few days before Kaylee Jade's death, Priest told her boyfriend, Redfern, "I'm going to kill her. I've hit her once and smacked her for dirtying her nappy." The man then replied, "Good, give her one from me," to which the mother agreed. However, in the weeks following Kaylee Jade's death, Nicola Priest posted several videos on TikTok. She was sharing footage and images of her and her daughter cuddling with each other with captions like "RIP my baby," and making comments about the fact that she will never forget her darling, her angel. But among those videos were others. Soon, there were also videos where Nicola was dancing around the apartment, miming songs, and doing what a lot of people do on TikTok. Well, people who hadn't recently lost a child. Those dancing videos were uploaded just 45 days after Kaylee Jade died of child abuse. The TikTok account, as well as the CCTV footage of Nicola Priest with Kaylee Jade in the elevator, were used in court to highlight her obsession with social media and her phone. She would be described as selfie-obsessed by the media covering the case. The trial was hard for everyone. The pathologist in charge of the case noted a total of 68 injuries, from bruising to red marks and abrasions. Some of the jurors were reduced to tears while listening to the terrible details of Kaylee Jade's assault. A pediatrician said the injuries were among the worst that he had ever seen in 30 years. Nicola Priest was found guilty of child cruelty and manslaughter in August of 2021. She was sentenced to 15 years in prison. Colin Redfern was also convicted of manslaughter and sentenced to 14 years. Kaylee Jade's grandmother would speak to the press after the conviction, saying, "Everybody deserves the gift of life. Kaylee Jade deserved to show the world who she could have been and what greatness she could have brought to this world. Nanny will forever hold you in her heart."